Body Language and Dating. Dating Women Radio Show number 33, all from Doc Love, the man that interviewed thousands of women, asking them why they stayed with one man versus another. Doc reviews a book on body language, plus he brings in a celebrity couple and more to teach us about body language and dating. I took this from 2 different shows from 2008. Of course, Doc's stuff is timeless. This clip's around 7 minutes long, and it's going to teach you a lot.
Well, let's talk about that body language book, Doc. There's about 4 points that you have in there that you found interesting out of that.
Yeah, I would not recommend this book, by the way, but one of my students told me about it. It had a couple of good things in here, but I would not recommend the book. It's called The Definitive Book of Body Language, and there's 4 items in here I want to talk about. One is on page 291. It's called The Attraction Process, and this is the first thing they talk about, eye contact. She looks across the room and spots a guy that she likes. So what she does is she looks around the room, she looks back at him, she looks at him for 5 seconds. Okay? Then the second thing is she smiles. Eye contact, second is smiles. And then third, she preens, P-R-E-E-N-S, preens. She sits up straight. She crosses her legs or ankles to show the male the best advantage of her figure. If she's standing, she tilts her head. And then she plays with her hair. She exposes her bare neck, etc., etc. 4, the man walks up to her and starts talking, and the man says, "Haven't I seen you somewhere before?" Well, as bad as this is, at least she knows he's trying to break the ice. And then 5, here's the best one. Listen to this. Touch. She looks for an opportunity to initiate a light touch on the arm, either accidentally or otherwise. And what do we call these, Jeff? These are all buying signals. These are
stuff you...
Yeah, this is stuff I did. This guy's verifying. That's the reason why. Somebody else says it just besides me. That's the point.
Yeah, and it's stuff that you kind of pick up on as your, the nonverbal communication with the woman. It's amazing to me how many guys, that will talk about, or I'll see them interacting with women, that the woman's shoulders are turned away from the guy. She's not looking him in the eye. She's not touching him at all, and yet the guy still is going full bore into talking to her and trying to get somewhere with her when it's obvious the girl is saying, "I don't want to be with you at all. My body language is off."
I was in a club. The girl has her elbow up. She has her chin on her elbow. She's rolling her eyes and yawning, and this guy's just running his tape. Of course, if we did this and this, how about this? How about and he doesn't look at her for reaction. When you're in sales, you got to see if the buyer's interested. Do I have a live buyer here? I'm just getting stroked. But a lot of guys, they don't do that. But when a guy gets all of his information down, he will start seeing more and more body language. And here's a definition of perceptive, which I like. Being perceptive means being able to spot the contradictions between someone's words and their body language. Overall, women are far more perceptive than men. And then he goes on and on to explain. What do I tell you guys? You're on her turf. Romantic love is her turf. You don't know what you're doing. And yet you're going to go in there and talk down to her? Dumb, dumb, dumb. Then it goes on here. Here's another thing here. The key to reading body language is being able to understand a person's emotional condition, which I call their interest level, while listening to what they are saying and noting the circumstances under which they are saying it. This allows you the ability to separate fact from fiction and reality. Then it goes on to say the 4th part, and this comes right out of the dating dictionary, of course. Verbal component of a face-to-face conversation is less than 35%, and over 65% of communication is done non-verbally. So in other words, when you guys are emailing, texting each other, talking on the phone, you're only getting 25 to 35%. You don't know anything about what's going on because you don't see her body language. That's why I don't want you guys emailing and talking on the phone other than the get to date. So those 4 things I found interesting. The rest of the book wasn't that good. But I want to tell you about that because those things confirm what I feel is the truth in the system.
And it's really advanced system thinking when you talk about it, because you have to really not only listen to what she's saying, because often, as you've said many times, Doc, there is womanese that you have to plow through, but you have to also read the body language to see if you have a chance or not.
It's like communicating. When you communicate, it would be like communicating you're with her and you close your eyes. Well, you wouldn't think to do that. She'd think you're nuts. But if you close your eyes, you would notice how much less you're getting in terms of what's really, truly going back and forth in this. And remember, when you go out with a girl, now in the old days when you lived in a town of 500, your grandmother knew her grandmother, and your mother went to church with her mother, and you guys have been pals since second grade, well, you pretty much know this lady's background. But when you're in the big city and you meet a girl and she's 30 years old, you don't know what she's done, who she's been with. You don't know about her odometer reading, which I call the mileage on this girl. And she'll tell you, oh, no, I just had a couple relationships and all that. And you don't know what really went on. And then when you get married, some of this stuff comes out. But then it's too late because it's for better or worse. And in a lot of cases, it's super worse.
And then we have Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, Leonardo. Last week we talked about body language. So here's a photograph in February 8th, People magazine, and walking down the street in Los Angeles is DiCaprio with his girlfriend, on-again, off-again model, Bar Rafaeli, I guess it is, from Israel. Beautiful girl, great figure, great face. But here's the body language. She's walking a step ahead of him, and her right hand is down, and her right hand is holding his left hand, which is a little bit to the left of him, and she's holding his fingers. It looks as if she's pulling along a little 5 or 6 year old boy behind him. Well, just by that body language alone, you can tell his interest level is higher than her. And plus another thing, she lives in Israel, he lives in L.A., and they're back together again. It's one thing if he's in L.A. and she's in Torrance or Long Beach, 30, 40, 50 miles, and here they broke up and now they're back together again. So he flies her out to L.A. from Israel. What's going on here? So two things. A, the body language, and B, you can't go back.
I took this clip from the Dating Women radio show. If you want more free audio, check out our podcast. Get that and other free stuff, including a free 7-day dating course. Freeze the screen or hit the description for all your freebies. And, of course, we have a discount on Doc's life-changing book at doclove.com/video deal. And if you aren't sure about buying it, just check out all the You Changed My Life letters there.